There are no two governments that are exactly identical, as governments often serve the purposes and the needs of the people. There are basic questions that need to be asked to properly classify a country's government. Those questions are: 1. Who can participate in the processes of government? 2. How is power distributed geographically? And 3. How are the legislative and executive branches structured? A democratic system is one in which the people largely hold the power, or the power comes from the will of the people. Democratic systems rest on the idea of popular sovereignty. There are different types of democratic systems, including direct democracy, and within a direct democracy, the people vote directly on laws and public policies, so the people themselves are lawmakers. Based on this definition, is the United States a direct democracy? No, it is not. The United States practices representative democracy, or what is also called a republican form of government, not to be confused with the political party. In a republic, individuals vote for representatives who then cast their votes for laws and policies. There are aspects of direct democracy within the United States system, largely at the state and local levels. These are known as ballot initiatives and referendums. The power to govern can be located in one or more places, which can also affect the classification of government. There are 3 classifications based on the geographic distribution. The first is a unitary government, where all powers are held centrally in a single entity. In such a system, the central government can create local agencies to help with day-to-day operations. A federal system, the system the U.S. uses, is one in which the powers are divided between the central or national government and smaller local governments. The fact that the United States has a constitution that serves as a higher law makes this a division of powers based geographically. A confederate system is one where there is an alliance, so to speak, of independent states. Each state has a fair amount of sovereignty and divvies up certain powers to a central authority. Usually the central power holds powers like defense and foreign policy. The United States government, under the Articles of Confederation, was a confederate government. The parliamentary systems and presidential systems have one key distinction. The presidential system practices separation of powers, meaning that the legislative and executive branches are separate. This is the system the United States practices, and in such a system it is possible to have divided government, meaning the executive, the president, and the legislative branches can be controlled by opposing political parties, as is the case currently. Divided government can cause more gridlock than a unified government. In a parliamentary system, the head of the majority party becomes prime minister, meaning in a parliamentary system there is always unified government, and the party in control can push through its political agenda more easily. Finally, dictatorships. In a dictatorship, the government is not held accountable to the will of the people, and the government can exert significant control. Dictatorships are the oldest and most common form of government. There are a few different types of dictatorships, including autocracy, where one person holds political power, and that power is unchecked. There is also an oligopoly, where the power is held by a small group of elites. Dictatorships are authoritarian by nature, meaning that the government's power cannot be challenged. If a dictatorship goes a step further and controls all aspects of people's lives, the government is classified as totalitarian. If you have ever read my favorite book, 1984,
created using Powtoon.